Artificial intelligence is causing a lot of people to freak out, a lot of people to be really excited. And I want to help us think through how we incorporate it, make sense of it, resist it, leverage it, especially as it relates to our work. Here's the first problem I see with how a lot of people are thinking about artificial intelligence is they are letting it become a reason that they make peace with being lazy and slothful. Is this idea that work is a curse, and anything that helps me do less work I'm on board with. And so we outsource thinking, feeling, consolidating, wrestling, the creative struggle, the whole thing. We outsource some of this to chat GPT or other things like Claude or Perplexity, something like that. And especially in a developmental phase, especially when you're in high school, college, post-grad, things like that, letting a machine think for you, you are shortchanging your capacity to think. And you're actually buying into a sub-biblical view of work. Work is a blessing and work is cursed. So it's a cursed blessing that God blessed Adam and Eve and told them to be fruitful and multiply and subdue and have dominion. And subdue and dominion has everything to do with license to apply creative pressure to an unformed environment. That is my definition of work. It's creative pressure. It's making something become better than what it was, or it's unfolding the goodness that is in the creation. And so if our goal is to get out of work, we've already started in the wrong place when it comes to think of artificial intelligence or other and new tools that emerge like that. Rather, we understand that work is cursed despite work being a blessing. That Genesis 3 says, by the sweat of your face will you bring forth from the earth, meaning work will be difficult. Now, work historically has always been difficult, but every new generation faces a different type of difficulty when it comes to work. Your great-great-great-grandfather many years ago very likely was some type of farmer, and he literally, through the sweat of his face, brought forth food from the ground. Now in an information age, a digital age, where physical labor is less common, but it is still prolific. The type of stress, the type of sweat we do to bring forth from the ground may not be physical. It may be more emotional, mental, psychological, things like that. But we should not expect work to be easy. Some wildly small percentage of men have the license or the privilege of not working really hard. And so if you think AI is going to make your life easier, period, you're kind of missing the goal and the understanding of Genesis 1, 2, and 3. We're not trying to eliminate work. We're trying to do work with good stewardship. And so AI may make you dumber and stupider in the short term if you outsource thinking and feeling to it. You may be buying into this kind of false view that I'm going to somehow achieve an existence that is friction-free or an existence that is absent of labor. And I just want to tell you that's not God's design for work. Rather, we should think of artificial intelligence like any other tool. Now, this tool is a significant shift in how we interact in work and labor, but significant shifts like that have happened over the generations for a long time. Think about the Industrial Revolution when manufacturing and machine work became really prolific. You think about the computer revolution and PCs and the internet age. And now you look at AI, and these things do change rapidly the economic situation and the factor of the work in which we engage. And so we need to pivot and be able to leverage these new tools. But we don't leverage them in order to make our lives easier per se. We leverage them in order to become better stewards of the tools that are available to us. If you think about artificial intelligence like you just upgraded your toolbox and now you have better tools at your disposal to do certain types of work, then awesome, then great. And I think we need to be unafraid of technological intervention. In particular, Christians should understand that part of humanity's design was to subdue and have dominion, which is to make cultural artifacts, to develop technologies, to leverage things. Someone had to invent the plow. Someone had to invent the wheel. Someone had to invent and make use of fire. And all these things radically shifted work for humans. And so we shouldn't be afraid of radical shifts in work for humans. We should be inherently thankful for human intervention and innovation and the way that it leverages and helps us make use of our time, talent, and treasure in a more significant way. But any type of Anabaptist or withdrawal or this nervousness about technology, I think, is frankly silly, and it misses the idea of Genesis 1 and 2's vision that we are meant to be technology makers, technology users, cultural builders, and AI is just one of those factors. I do think there's a subset of the population who are planning on being coders that you're basically like, well, too bad, so sad. That's going to be a tough gig going forward. However, that's not the first time major jobs have been eliminated. You think about the invention of refrigeration and how now ice block harvesters don't exist anymore. You think about the invention of the cell tower and how back in the day when my grandma had her first phone number was 8 and she had to call the switchboard operator. There's no more switchboard operators. You think about the people whose job it was to fill the street lights with oil so they could have light during the night. That's not a job anymore. So there, historically speaking, are jobs that come and go as technology shifts. And we should welcome that and celebrate that. And at the same time, have empathy for the fact that some people will have to pivot into new roles. And so, my encouragement to you with AI is to not outsource your thinking and feeling, to keep that as human as possible, especially in your developmental phase. Continue to read whole books, listen to long form things, wrestle with ideas on your own. Don't delegate part of what makes you human to the machine, but at the same time, learn how to leverage these tools and creatively experiment with how they might apply in your day to day life. And so, this kind of, in my mind, I'm trying to be balanced here because we want to be grateful for the new technologies. And at the same time, we want to resist outsourcing part of what makes us fundamentally human in terms of our creativity, our emotionality, and our connection with other people. We want to be really nervous about allowing us to become subhuman because we've outsourced part of our humanity to the machines. And so, my encouragement to you is make use of, leverage, wrestle with, connect with the tools, and then leverage them to help you do your task of working with the sweat of your face to subdue and have dominion and provide for yourself and for your household. We're not trying to escape work, we're trying to steward the tools to make our work as effective as possible.